So what lies in store for the US and China as they reassess how they trade with each other? And what does it mean for the rest of the world? To discuss that, we're joined from Atlanta by Stephen Gu, Director of US-China Business Advisory Services at PYA. So, Stephen, let's start with your overall outcomes from the Xi-Trump meeting. What stood out for you?
I think it's a very productive and a positive meeting. I think both leaders have agreed to work together to expand the area of cooperation while managing the difference based on the mutual respect. I think this is really a great opportunity for two presidents and their wives to get to know each other in person. And what's more important is I think the atmosphere and the chemistry between two leaders are very positive. I think the posture between those two leaders has set up a tone for a very positive and constructive tone for the bilateral relationship going forward. So I think for commentators like me and including me, I think we are very relieved and pleased to see this outcome of this meeting.
And we did see some agreements take shape, and also the U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross talked about this 100-day plan between the two countries to work out their trade talks. What do you expect that plan to look like?
I think this is actually one of the most significant achievements of the meeting. Now, the details has yet to be announced, but based on the press release, I think first it will be a very ambitious plan. The trade talks between U.S.-China normally going to take a long time, take years. For example, the bilateral investment treaty negotiation between U.S. and China was started back in 2008, and by now we have not reached any final version yet. So with the wide range of issues and their magnitude, I think 100 days is very ambitious. So I think this is also means a great sea change in terms of the negotiation, the pace of negotiation. And second, it will be also very result-oriented. I think there will be specific items to be achieved in the short term as well as goals over the years. And the third, it will be very comprehensive. I think it will cover, it will discuss comprehensive economic opportunities across the different government agencies from both U.S. and China. So I think this will be a great start.
So since they're already making this start, we know that the U.S.-China Strategic and Economic Dialogue meeting is coming up this summer. What's the significance then, given what's already happening so far?
So, well, honestly, I'm not sure, because now they are using a new term called U.S.-China Comprehensive Dialogue. So I don't know if they're going to replace the SEND, or it will be in addition to the SEND. So, but I think one thing is certain, that the pace and the format of the discussion will be different. I think this round of negotiation, there will be more specific, there will be lots more actionable items, there will be lots of measurable items.
Now let's also look at the current state of global free trade. We know that the IMF and the World Bank released this report called Making Trade an Engine of Growth for All. And we know that this concept of people feeling left behind or left out from the economic prosperity was one of the reasons we saw this rise in populism. So how would countries really ensure that trade works for everyone?
Well, I think there are two ways. I think domestically, there should be very supportive policies to address the trade-related adjustment issues. For example, there should be a better job training program, job searching program, or wage insurance program. In addition to that, I think we need to make sure our education system can prepare workers for the changing demand of the modern labor market. And I think together with domestic policies, I think global leaders will also need to make sure the trade-related policy will not only promote the growth, promote the prosperity, but also wanted to make sure the prosperity will be shared more widely.
So as we look at some of the issues that are going on in the global economy, what do you think is most at stake then when we see some of these protectionist policies coming from the U.S.?
Well, I think, like you said, there's lots of criticism about the lots of people in the individual community was left behind by the global economy, global trade, and to extent it's a fact. But let's not ignore the same important fact that global trade has really the driving force for the economic growth and for the income growth across the world during the past several decades. So I think the protectionism will become a drag on the global trade productivity and income growth. And it will also not encourage the competition and innovation. It will be lose-lose for everybody.
Certainly a lose-lose situation is what a lot of the leaders are saying. Thank you so much, Stephen Gu, Director of US-China Business Advisory Services at PYA.